Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of my group and I, we are so happy to be here and to be giving you this presentation, this amazing presentation on global warming. Such an important role in our society and in our future. And today we're going to be talking to you about a couple of things. We're going to be talking to you about some things that we're not doing so well as humans, some things that are already happening that global warming is affecting, some other things that we can do better as humans, and exactly what global warming is. So let me talk to you about that first. Now, to give you a brief definition, global warming is an excess amount of CO2, carbon dioxide, being released into the atmosphere. Now, as this excess amount of carbon dioxide is being released into the atmosphere, then the globe will heat up at an accelerated rate. As this happens, glaciers will melt faster, the planet will heat up quicker, causing in hotter summers and warmer winters, things like that. And this all comes from pollution, from factories, from cars, land clearing, agriculture, all sorts of things that we just aren't doing very well as humans. Now, some things that we're going to be talking to you about today is land clearing, specifically land clearing and agriculture. And I'll talk to you a little bit later about that. I'll also be talking to you about factories and pollution, cars, and how that affects the environment. And as well as glaciers, how they're already being affected, and what we are doing that causes them to be melted at an accelerated rate. And I actually have a personal story about this one. My wife and I were in Alaska for about 5 months this summer, and while we were up there, my parents came up to visit us, and they stopped along the way and did a tour of glaciers in a town called Seward. It's this little town on the peninsula. And when they came and saw us, they were telling us all about this trip, the amazing wildlife they saw, how beautiful the glaciers were. In fact, when they were there, they even saw pieces of the glacier falling off. But one sad thing that they told me, or that their tour guide said to them, was that 10-15 years ago, the boats would pull up where they normally were, and they would be able to walk right onto these glaciers. People would be able to walk onto them, explore them, and get a closer look. But now they can't do that anymore because of how much those glaciers have melted. And that's not only in Alaska, that's all over the world where this is happening. And my group members will be talking a little bit more about that. But I just wanted to share a personal experience. And first, I want to talk to you about land clearing and agriculture, and how that is impacting our environment. Now, agriculture is very important to us, to humans, because we need livestock to live, we need crops, things like that. But there's a way to get this number of 11.1% of total global emissions down. Now the big one is land clearing. And as we can see, 12.7% of total global emissions. Now that might not seem like a very big number, but I'll explain that here in a second. As we see here, we have agriculture, land clearing, biofuel, timber, settlements, clearing crops, clearing feed. Okay? So, as I said before, 12.7% is not a very big number. However, as big companies clear out all these trees in the Amazon forest, in northern Alaska, Russia, all sorts of places, they're getting rid of millions and millions of trees. And what does that do? Or why is that so important? It is because trees absorb carbon dioxide that we release into the air, or that other things release into the air. And as we cut down these trees, the air is going to become more polluted, and more carbon dioxide is going to be let into the atmosphere. And global warming will only get worse. And for example, if we look at Alaska, I don't know how many of you have actually been up there, but the air up there is so crisp, it's so clean, it's so clear. And this is because they have millions and millions and millions of trees. Yes, not tons of people live up there, but you go to Anchorage, a massive city, and there's no pollution because of all the trees. Okay, they're absorbing all that carbon dioxide. So you go to another city like Salt Lake City, okay, horrible pollution, horrible. And that's because there's not a lot of greenery, there's not a lot of trees. People are clearing out all those trees that were once there to build more houses, to build a bigger business, things like this. And this is only worsening the air for them and worsening the climate for ourselves. And this is why these two things are so important, especially land clearing. Yes, it's not a very big number, but it will affect us more in the end because of all those trees being cut down. And to talk to you about more of the other points, I give you my group member, Ariel. Give it up for her.